the US goods is very expensive for us. But if for example, we are importing bulletproof vehicles for our presidents or CEOs, so we don't have much options to buy from other countries. So we have to buy from US. So that's why we say that like other things equal. For example, there is no other Microsoft company, although we have the iOS as well, but still that is also US based, and we need to purchase that software. So what happens to the US dollar, whether it is increase or decrease, we still have to buy that one, right? So the US will still see that, okay, even though dollar is increasing, we still see our software demand or software still are going to be exported. Why? Because other people, they don't have much choices. So that's why we see other things equal. So if we have choices, then in choices, what happened? That country whose currency is going to appreciate, its export is going to be decreased. Now, look at in your own country and look at the politicians, how they play with the government or the oppositions. So if they say that if the price of your country, if the price of the currency, for example, if you are in South Africa, rand, right? If you're in Mexico, it's pesos, right? Switzerland, Swiss franc, UK, pound. So if rand increases, peso increases, if you are a national of Mexico, South African, so they say that it is good for the economy. The politicians always say that it is good for economy. Why? Because you are now stabilizing. Up to a certain extent, they are true, but not 100%. If you are exporting countries, increase in your value is catastrophic, like Chinese yuan. So US always pressurize China to increase the value of yuan. Why? Because they have more than $400 billion deficit with them. If they increase the value of yuan, then US companies will buy less from China and they can reduce this current account deficit, right? But what happened to the China? China will say that no, we don't want to disturb our exports. So they closely watch the price of yuan. So I remember that when I came to China 7 years ago, so $1 was equal to like 6.2 yuan. Now it is $1 is equal to close to 7 yuan. So in these 8 years, only a little increase in the value of yuan. Sorry, depreciation. That is the depreciation. Sorry, my bad. This is the reverse example. So if we talk about the reverse example, $1 was, for example, 7 yuan, and now $1 is equal to 6.5. It means, okay, whenever this kind of situation comes, think in terms of product. 1 banana is equal to 7 apples, and now 1 banana is equal to 6.5 apples. It means worth of apple increases. Now convert that with currencies. $1 was previously 7 yuan. In $1 you can buy 7 yuan, and now in $1 you can buy 6.5 yuan. It means worth of yuan increased, worth of dollar decreased, right? In that sense, you can just easily, explain your answer. Okay, let's move forward. Now, how exchange rates may correct a balance trade deficit. Very important. It means you don't have to do anything. The exchange rate is going to do everything. That's it. So, a floating exchange rate could possibly correct any international imbalance between two countries in the following way. And what we are talking about, which kind of exchange rate system? Floating exchange rate system. We will talk about the different kinds of exchange rates. but the widely accepted method of exchange rate is floating exchange rate, which means minimum intervention from the government. So let the market decide what will be the value of the exchange rate between the country's currencies. So a deficit in a country, what happened? Deficit means imports greater than exports. When that happened, right, a deficit in a country balance of trade suggests that country is spending more funds on foreign product, right? Your imports are high, you're spending more on imports than from its exporting countries. Okay, because the country is exchanging its currency to buy foreign goods in greater volume than the demand for its currency, this might place a downward pressure on the volume of its currency. What does it mean? And that is very important concept. So consider the example of US, China. Okay. And you are here. So always make your relevant point. So your relevant country is US. You are in US. So if imports are higher than exports, what happened? US people, they are spending more money on imports rather than exports, or they are spending too much money. So what is going to happen here? US people have dollar, right? When you want to buy goods from China, you will spend dollar. But in China, Chinese person, he will demand yuan. It means you supply or you ready to sell your dollar, supply is going to increase and demand for yuan also increase, because first you sell your dollars, you buy the yuan, and then you buy the product, right? So what happened essentially, this creates a downward pressure because supply of the dollar increase, it means value or the price of dollar decrease. Recall your discussion in economics that if supply increases, shift to the right. Shift to the right means decrease the prices. Here we go. Supply increases, shift to the right. If you are here previously, shift to the right means, oh, my bad. We should make a market first. So I'm just giving you, so if shift to the right, right? Previously the price was like this and now the price is, remember that one? The price decrease. So value of the US dollar decreases. Now chain reaction started. Value of the dollar decreases. Now what happened? Exports start rising. Why? Because now China, not necessarily China, with other countries as well, now they will see that, okay, its dollars start decreasing. Now what happened? The products of US companies looks cheaper. So it means no government intervention is needed. It's going to correct itself. How? Now let's again read this whole paragraph. Let me just remove all this mess here. Here. So again, read again. A deficit in a country balance of trade suggests that the country is spending more funds on foreign products than it is receiving from exports to foreign countries. Okay, imports greater than exports. So why now think in terms of currencies? Because the country is exchanging its currency in greater volume than the foreign demand for its currency. You are ready to sell your own currency more and demand for other currency rises. This might places a downward pressure on the value of its currency. Now, once the home currency value is declined in response to these factors, it attracts more foreign demand for its product in future. In future, they start taking reverse. Why? Because of low currency, its product looks very lucrative for the importers. The people will buy from your country because your country has your value is low. And what happened? It started increasing. Which started increasing? Exports. Everybody understand that? Jordan, Kathleen, Fabian,
Yes, understand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Janlap, Min,
Yes.
Marlin, Marilyn,
Yes.
sorry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good, good. Well, you guys are good. So, then,
Also, sometimes it depends from which bank to which bank. Some international transfer take 10 days. Within 10 days, it depends the amount of the money that you send, of course. But
you are right, you are right, you are right. We will talk about there when we talk about this. We call this lag concept. We'll talk about over there. Good. Florian, well done. So you are really getting into this subject. Well done. Okay. So if deficit is correcting everything else, then sometimes it may not correct. Why? Because exchange rate will not automatically correct any international trade balance with when other forces are there. When the government intervene or when some other factors causing this kind of stuff, then the trade balance deficit cannot be reversed. So since the United States normally experiences a large balance of deficit, the international trade float should place a downward pressure on the value of its dollar. But we still see that dollar is still appreciating. Why is that? Yet in a period there are more financial flows into the United States. Why? Because it's New York Stock Exchange, NYC, right? Or NYE? Oh, my bad, I forgot. New York Stock Exchange, NSC. So it's New York Stock Exchange. You see a lot of investment over there. Into theory, we know that there is a deficit in that country where there is a deficit. Its value should go down. Dollar should go down. But why we see still the price of dollar go up? Why? Because people are saving their money with the banks more. Why? Because of financial industry in Europe, in America is very strong. On the other hand, the trade volume is going negative, but as a finance side or the capital account, remember, a company has two account, a country has two account, current account and capital account. If current account is going down, on the other hand, the capital account is going up. Even all the politicians, they want to invest, they bribe, they do corruption, and they all want to save their money with the US banks, right? In that case, a company is getting more financial inflows. So when other forces are interrupting this kind of stuff, then what happens? It may not correct the trade balance. So these forces can offset the downward pressure on the value of dollar caused by the trade imbalance. If the value of the dollar does not weaken, it will not correct the US balance of trade deficit. Right, guys? Everybody understand that?